Welcome! This is my review of Transformers Generations Wheeljack. And here's a look at Wheeljack in his car mode. And of course this particular mold is the same mold as the Reveal the Shield Turbo Tracks. They basically retooled this particular mold here to add a rear spoiler, like that you can see there, and a front spoiler on the front. And the reason they did that is because they wanted to, basically have a homage to the Generation 1 Wheeljack, which is right here. You can see it has a front spoiler and a rear spoiler. So here's a look at the two next to each other. As you can see, the red and the green racing stripes are very similar the way that they're laid out across the car, which is nice. Obviously there's no racing numbers on the newer Wheeljack, and there's no sponsor logos as well. But you can address that. You can actually go to reprolabels.com, and for $10 you can buy a sticker sheet which has the numbers and some of the sponsors, and I think they actually have a custom license plate you can put on the new Generations toy. And I might look into that in the future. I'm not sure if I'll get that or not, but just a quick look at the two. So I'll put Generation 1 Wheeljack to the side. And one other thing I want to address about the car mode for Wheeljack, I like these what appear to be side exit exhaust pipes, which is a really cool feature. I believe that's the look they were going for, because after all this is a racing car. And I really like they incorporated that into the actual new Wheeljack figure. Of course these become the weapons for robot mode. So before I get into the transformation of Generations Wheeljack, I will mention just briefly, you can fold down the doors and rotate them out, and they can become wings for Wheeljack, and much like you could do with the Reveal the Shield Turbo Tracks. But I don't see the point with Wheeljack, because Wheeljack never had wings, and so I just, it's pointless to me. But you can do it if you want to. So transformation, take off the side exhausts here, and you simply detach and put those to the side, and pull back the rear of the vehicle like that. You can see the arms there. And what I like to do to free up the doors is push down on the front of the vehicle so that you have this kind of gap here, and the doors kind of pop out just by themselves. Then you want to rotate the doors to the side like so, and then coming back here, you want to see there's the weapon stored right there. You want to take this out and set that to the side. And you want to take this gray piece and rotate it out like that. Extend out the arms, and I'm going to go ahead and partially transform the arms here. And you want to rotate the wheel/tire forward on both sides. And then coming back here, you want to take, you can see how there's a little hinge mechanism. You want to pull out like that, and up, out, and up. Oops. Up. And then you want to take the little winglets here, rotate these out. And then as for the front of the vehicle, these become the legs. So I'm going to untab these, and you want to extend out the legs. They don't go very far, but you want to make sure you extend them all the way out so you get the most height for Wheeljack, and also so you can actually bend the knee. And here is where the transformation differs between Wheeljack and Turbo Tracks. And you want to take this front section here, untab it, and as you can see back here, this whole section folds down, and here the wheel is attached to this whole mechanism, so you really can't do much with it except rotate it up like this, or you can leave it down like that. And you just do the same thing on the other side here. Bring out the little foot and rotate down. And I'm going to go ahead here and rotate out the shoulders, because the next step you want to do is you want to take this section here and it rotates up. You just push it up, and I find that I just like to push up from the bottom here. There's a little pieces of plastic sticking out. You want to push up sure I got all the shoulders out enough so I can get that mechanism to push up. Let's try this again. There we go. And actually you want to make sure it's all the way up so that it actually locks in place. Like that. You can hear it actually lock in place. And once you've got that, let's see, bring out the wing here again. Take this rear section here. You can see there's little tabs. They want to tab into the slots right there, into the back of Wheeljack. And again, you want to make sure the tires, the wheels are facing forward like that. Arms come out like this. Rotate around the wrist. And then you have the weapon here, and you can place it in his hand, either hand, because it has the peg here. I prefer, however, to clip it on to the back here, so it's kind of like an over-the-shoulder rocket launcher, and it just snaps in place there. And the exhaust pipes become his like wrenches, so they should be able to be held in the hand. Like so. Now you could, if you want, you can take these and they actually will tab or clip on to the little section here. As you can see, they'll just clip on, and I suppose they kind of look like they're machine guns because they have that kind of design with them. I don't know if you can make that out, but I prefer to have these in his hands, kind of like they're wrenches or some kind of little hand weapon. And here is Wheeljack in his robot mode, and looking really nice actually. And he does look a little bit short, and when I show you him next to TurboTrax, you may not see it on camera, but there's actually a difference. And I'll bring in TurboTrax right now. There's actually a slight height difference. Actually, TurboTrax is a little bit taller when you view them in person next to Wheeljack. And I think the reason is there's a little hinge mechanism that both of the legs go up and down on, and I think there's a difference in the way they tooled the hinge on here versus here. But anyways, the really key difference you can see is that the fact that in robot mode, the front bumper slash spoiler is the toes for Wheeljack, and you can see the hood here forms the front of the leg. Whereas if we take a look at TurboTrax, it's just the opposite. You can see here the hood section and the front bumper are facing the back, and you've got the small little toe part up here, part of the foot. So just kind of the opposite way of doing things with the transformation. So, and this review would not be complete without a look at Generation 1 Wheeljack. And you can see G1 Wheeljack has, two shoulder-mounted cannons. I don't actually have the missiles. I think I might have them, but they're stored away somewhere. But anyhow, there's supposed to be missiles in here. But you can see there's actually a lot of design similarities. Starting with the chest area. You can see here, this chest area does lift up like that. As you can see, it lifts up. You can do the same thing with Generation 1 Wheeljack. So that's really cool. Then if you take a look at the back, it's easier to look at it from the back here. They've got these little wings, I guess. You can see here, maybe it's hard to see with the way the camera, but you can see there's little wings, like a smoky translucent plastic, as you can see there. Well, you've got the similar design element with these silver painted winglets here going on the back. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities, and of course the racing stripes help also carry that through as well with the way they're coming across the car like that. So very good job on Hasbro's part of actually, basically creating a new updated version of Wheeljack. Of course, Generation 1 is pretty much like a brick when it comes to articulation, but for Generations Wheeljack, you've got a rotation at the head, and you got ball jointed shoulders, swivel at the upper arm, double bend at the elbow, swivel at the wrists, articulation at the waist, ball jointed hips, bend at the knee, and you've actually got a little foot articulation there. So nicely articulated. Oh, of course, obviously the head sculpts, as you can see, are very similar between the old Generation 1 toy and the new Generations toy. So fantastic job, Hasbro. Thank you again. And as far as deciding, which one should you get, Trax or Wheeljack, if you have to decide between the two, well, I mean, it just kind of depends which character you like. I kind of like Wheeljack better. I think they just captured the essence of Wheeljack a little bit better. The other thing about Wheeljack I want to bring up too is his height and how he compares to like TurboTrax, for example. He is rather squat looking. I don't know if it's going to come across on camera, but and some reviewers have complained about that. Well, take a look at the Generation 1 toy. This is a rather squat figure as well. So if we're going for a Generation 1 homage, then I'm just fine with this figure being, kind of, squat and short at the legs. You can't really extend out the legs as much as you can with TurboTrax in the background there. But to me, that's actually a plus because, like I say, this is a rather squat figure as well. So, and by squat, I mean it has really short legs, relative to the actual size of the rest of the body. So, anyways, this has been my review of Transformers Generations Wheeljack. If you can get both TurboTrax and Wheeljack, of course, get both of them. But it's going to come down really probably just to which character you like better. And I guess that's all I can say. Well, thanks for watching. This is my review of Transformers Generations Wheeljack.